Greetings and welcome. I love iodine. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my new website. The website is www.iloveiodine.com, so you can check it out. There's a lot of content here. I began building this website in July, and I've been adding a lot of content since then. I will be continuing to add content to the blog and also to the wild plants gallery and giving some more information there. And I will also be adding more to my favorites as they come about. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get started. First off, the homepage again, the address is www.iloveiodine.com, and it has some featured videos here, the foods and the herbs, and I'll be adding more, just that I think those are great places to start, and that's about an hour and a half worth of videos. I know that's really long. I'm going to try to do a shorter video that just highlights them kind of quickly, just to go through them. But if you want the list, the list is actually in the blog, so you can always check that out as well. The About, it just goes over how I came to be interested in parasites. You can read that. Many of you, if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I was infected with a fish tapeworm, intestinal flukes, and likely other things as well. It's a great possibility they possibly had a dog tapeworm or even one of the other ones. I definitely saw 2 different species of tapeworms whenever I was dealing with my parasite cleanse. I actually saw the top parts of the one. Tragically, it looks more like a Taenia species. I just don't like to think about that. That could be either the pork tapeworm or the beef tapeworm. I don't eat pork, but I have in my past at times. I'm never a fan of it. And I've eaten beef on the rare side many times. I don't eat any mammals at this point in my life, and I have no intention of doing so going forward for many reasons, but one of them being the fact that they are a really easy way to become infected with parasites. Same thing with raw fish, but we'll get into that. I have blogs on common ways that we become infected, but more importantly, I also provide information on how we can reduce our risk. On a day-to-day basis, we're always coming into contact with parasites and with other pathogens, so we need to just be aware of it and then, just minimize our risk in ways that we can. All right, so you can definitely read this out, find a little bit more about my backstory. The next tab is on events. I do give talks on intestinal parasites. I've given 4 so far, and I'm not going to be giving any until 2018, taking a little bit of a break to work on the website, work on the second volume of my ebook on wild plants. We'll talk about that more in a moment. And also just do some hiking and relax a little bit and take some time for myself and to work on the blogs and really make sure that I get that content up there for everybody to be able to read. The next tab is wild plants. I'll be adding more pictures here, and I'm separating them by wild edibles. Now, of course, chicory here we're looking at, people know that's also medicinal as well. There's always going to be some crossover, but for the main point, we'll just break them down to those type of plants as well. And here we have red clover, and of course that's edible as well, but I look more at it as medicinal. And then of course we have our poisonous plants, and these are not edible nor medicinal, so be very careful on those. I'll be adding more pictures as time goes on. The one thing I want to note is I would love to be able to italicize the Latin names, but unfortunately in the caption I can't do that. It doesn't have that functionality. Hopefully in the future. Alright, here's a little section if you're interested in foraging, you want to learn more. Here's some great books that I recommend. I have all 5 of these. And if you link from my website to any links on my website are most likely affiliate links. Just want to give that disclosure. I have an affiliate disclosure you can read as well with full information. I do get a small commission. This does not influence the choices of what I'm recommending. These are products that I use. These are things that I own. And I'm not doing it. It's totally transparent. I'm not influenced by any products or any companies to promote them based on the fact that I have an affiliate relationship. I have an affiliate relationship with these companies or with the products that I'm highlighting on Amazon and Vitacost because I use them. Pure and simple, and I have used them and I will continue to use them. I love all of these books. They are different, so recommending one over the other is hard to do. I would definitely recommend the wild plants if you're in the eastern U.S. and the eastern medicinals for sure, and at least one of Thayer's books. It's hard to toss up between these two. They're different, but they're so great. I don't know. They really go into details on the plants. These have more of a higher level, more plants, less detail. This has less plants, more detail. I did put out an ebook, and I put this out this year. It's available by donation through PayPal, minimum donation of $1. It has 12 plants that are in the DC area. That includes, of course, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Ohio, West Virginia. So this is definitely very versatile. These are very common plants that one can find. And here's just a little snippet of it. There's 8 pages out of the 46 in total. And of course we have our table of contents, so you can check out what's in it. And that's just various pictures. And this is an actual layout of what the plants are. So there's 12 plants. Here we have 2 species of plantain. I consider that one plant. It's a Plantago genus that are very common around here. I give the time of year, the habitat, edible parts, medicinal uses, and some notes. And then the back page, which is various pictures of the different plants. And in the case where there's a couple of different species, I definitely make sure to be able to write the differences out so people can know the difference. I also put a glossary in of common botanical terms. When I started this project with wild plants, I didn't know very many botanical terms. I don't have a background in botany. I am self-taught out of pure interest. I've watched lots of YouTube videos, read lots of books, and most importantly, I went outside and just started exploring my area, my land, getting out into nature, but doing so mindfully. If you do that, don't just go touch plants. There's a lot of plants that actually can cause rash. There's plants that are poisonous, and don't put anything in your mouth if you don't know what it is. Anyway, that being said, the glossary does provide a little bit of information on the plant parts and helps with a little bit of the understanding of the ebook. And these are some highlighted plants that I intend to put in volume 2, which I will be putting out next year, next spring. And that will be another dozen as well. All right. So without further ado, let's go to the next section, and that's the blog. The blog is mostly related to parasites and how I treated them, and foods and herbs that are naturally anti-parasitic. This blog here is on immune-boosting herbs and foods. A lot of herbs that are immune-boosting happen to be antifungal and anti-parasitic as well. It's important that we need a strong immune system just to get through this world. And another blog is on the herbs and the key supplements. And then lastly, we have the one on the foods. And you can check that out. Raw garlic, of course, is highlighted because that's great for everything. And you can definitely check that out. I'm sure I'll be adding a few things along the way to this. I'm going to the Natural Products Expo in Baltimore in a week. I hope to meet up with some companies. They have more ideas. You know, we're always learning new foods. We're always learning new herbs. So hopefully we'll find something else out there that can be added, that can be incorporated into my parasite cleanses. Need variety, you know. All right, and the other thing too is we have buttons over here. So if you're at this page and want to go straight to the foods rather than scroll down, you can just click and go there. And you can also go to the different pages, the Parasites Defined, which is where we're going to go next. Because that's actually this one right here. This is going to be expanded. This is just a very high level on the 3 classes of parasites that infect humans. This website is going to focus on the helminths and the protozoa. The next blog entry related to this is going to break these down a little further into the different types that one can be exposed to. And I think that is like important to get a greater understanding, because these helminths and protozoa couldn't be more, they're very different from each other. I mean, one is multicellular, the other is a microscopic single-celled organism. So they're quite different. You'll never see these with the naked eye. You can be infected with protozoan and you will never see them anywhere. Keep that in mind. You know, people are always looking in their stool for evidence of parasites, and you're not going to find that with the protozoan parasites. So, and you may never see it with a helminth either. If they break apart, they get passed through. It's, you know, I had a fish tapeworm for 13 years, and I never saw a piece until the one night when I forced a large portion of it out. And then once I did a very serious parasite cleanse, then I saw, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. But until then, I mean, they really just go through, you know, I wasn't looking for it. It's not as if I went to the restroom and was like actually examining it. So it could have been, you know, maybe there was evidence along the way, but it wasn't something I was looking for. All right. So next up, we're going to go into look at parasites and the damage done. This blog page is going to focus on the common symptoms of intestinal parasites. and I'll be adding more to this, linking it to some very common diseases like IBS and how the symptoms do overlap, and that also extends to celiac disease as well. They diagnosed me with all of those things. They told me I likely had celiac based on my blood work and my symptoms. They wanted to do the biopsy. I never got it done because I saw that I had a tapeworm just right before I was able to schedule that. So that actually saved me a little bit of money. Once I realized I had a tapeworm, it's clear that test was always going to come back positive because tapeworms have hooks and suckers. They dig into you. They lay along your intestinal tract. Of course, that's going to cause your villi to atrophy. That's without question. So that being said, I got rid of the parasitic infection, and I can eat gluten. I can eat dairy. I don't have any food issues except for an allergy to hazelnuts, which is something I've had forever. And that being said, it changed everything. I don't have hypothyroidism now. I don't have amenorrhea that reversed. It was 9 years that I had that. Once I got rid of the parasite, everything came back to normal. Don't know if that'll work for you, but that's what worked for me. I'm not giving medical advice. This is just my experiences, and these are things that I learned. These are things that directly happened to me. This isn't speculation. This isn't conjecture based on some other thing, but this is what I experienced. No doctor ever mentioned the possibility of parasites. They were more than happy to run all kind of diagnostic tests and blood work, testing for everything under the sun except for parasites. That just never, ever, ever came up in conversation, never came up as a possibility. I would have absolutely gone for the test and things like that. Once I found out I had them by visually seeing them, getting a test seemed like a moot point. It's also found later that most of the tests are false negatives anyway, so that's kind of almost a waste of money. And if that's you don't have the ability, I personally won't get the test done. I see no reason for it. For me personally. Next up, I talk about some of the risk factors. The latest one I put up in this one is about pets and parasites and how you can reduce your risk. Letting a dog lick you, which, gosh, they love to do. And dogs are cute, cats are cute, but it's very an easy way to get infected with various types of parasites. Dogs can actually transmit Toxoplasma gondii because if they eat cat feces, which is where the Toxoplasma gondii is, they can infect you that way. They can also infect you with Giardia or Cryptosporidium because dogs drink water everywhere, out of creeks, out of mud puddles, and that's where those protozoan parasites are found. So if they drink the water and then you're playing with them, with a ball or a stick, maybe in the water, maybe you have a Labrador and you're throwing a stick or the ball in the water and they're fetching it, that's actually a way that you can become infected. That can get on your hands, put it in your mouth. The dog, of course, can lick you with their mouth with it in it with the protozoan parasites in it. And the other thing that can occur is dogs and cats can both transmit the dog tapeworm as well. And cats and dogs, especially puppies, are very often infected with different types of roundworms, including hookworms and other nematodes. So keep those things in mind. We deworm our animals, but we don't deworm ourselves, and they can infect us, and we can infect them too. I do recommend, if you do have a pet, I don't have one at this point, maybe checking into a holistic veterinarian, and they have more natural methods. But regardless of which, definitely read that if you have any pets and want to learn more. This is basic on how to acquire intestinal parasites. I will be putting up another blog here on how we can reduce our risk, but the short answer is the opposite of, it gives information here. If we know that we can get it from drinking contaminated water, the solution would be don't drink contaminated water. That's the short answer. Of course, I'll get into more detail in the future. All right, next up is my Parasite Protocol. I just go over some of the things that I did. So if we go down to the bottom, I think that would be the best place to start, is I just give kind of a little bit of the background. And it's pretty in-depth here, actually. And just what I do. And then I add a little bit more of the basics on some of the foods, a little more detail. Then I give a summary. Again, this isn't medical advice, this is just what I do. I had success in getting rid of my parasites. It is not easy. I wish I would have known all of the foods and herbs that have anti-parasitic properties when I first started doing my cleanses, when I first found out. But I didn't know that. And when I was sick, trying to deal with my parasite, and I chose not to go the pharmaceutical route. That was my personal choice, and I stand by that. That was the best choice for me. It might not be the best choice for you. I will be putting information up on different pharmaceuticals that actually exist. And just, to be fair and balanced, that might be the best route for some people. And depending on the type, I mean, I would use the pharmaceuticals for certain type of parasites, absolutely, without question. But with what I had, I chose to go using the foods and the herbs. And then I go into how I had success. And basically, I had to do multi levels. I couldn't just eat anti-parasitic foods and then just use a little bit of herbs. It had to be comprehensive. I had to be focusing on the foods, every meal's having anti-parasitic foods, not allowing in foods that fed the parasites, and making sure that I was doing supplements, getting adequate rest, making sure my immune system was well taken care of, getting rid of stresses as much as possible, planning ahead. It's not an easy thing to do, a parasite cleanse. Absolutely not. So I'm hoping this information will help people, because even in my opinion, if you are doing the pharmaceutical route, it would be prudent to learn more about how you can acquire parasites so you don't become infected again. Also, the more research that I'm doing into the pharmaceuticals, they might have to be used for longer periods of time. I thought it was a shorter situation and for most, but I was doing some research today, and some of the pharmaceuticals are used for weeks and even months in extreme cases, and that's can get to be very long term. So maybe, you can speak to your doctor if you do go the pharmaceutical route about maybe incorporating some of the anti-parasitic foods, and maybe that would help assist so you wouldn't have to take the pharmaceuticals for as long. But again, that's for you and your doctor to discuss. That's just a little bit of information that I found out, but it's not medical advice. You're free to do whatever you'd like. Here's some recipe and meals ideas, and these are just things I put together. I'll be adding more as I think of them. Things that are basic and simple. Obviously, adding hot sauce to everything makes it a lot easier, and obviously avoiding foods that feed parasites is essential. I also have a recipe here for my favorite anti-parasite smoothie. If you sign up for my newsletter, this will be included as a PDF portion of the newsletter. So I'll be putting that out, the first one, in a little over a week. Okay. So next thing I do is healthy foods. This is just basically not related to parasites, just some things that I like. And I wanted to write about molasses. I spent a long time finding a good quality molasses a few years ago. I'm embarrassed to probably say how much effort I put into finding it. But I wanted something that was blackstrap, organic, and unsulfured, and glass. And the only brand that I was able to find was Plantation. It is sold at a few stores. I know Mom's Organic has it at some of their locations. I find it at Vitacost. It's also at Amazon. It is much cheaper at Vitacost, just an FYI. And again, these links do go through my affiliate site. And it's strange, like some things at Amazon are cheaper, some things at Vitacost. Oftentimes Vitacost has a 20% off coupon, or 10% or 12%, so that does help a lot too. And here's the link to Jaggery. This is the best Jaggery that I found, that it was organic, and the 2.2 pounds is much less expensive. The 1.1 is $9.95, I believe. So for $5 more, you get twice as much, and that's used in Ayurvedic medicine and Indian cooking. It is a natural, I don't want to say natural sweetener because fruit's a natural sweetener, but it is it has nutrition in it rather than it being a completely non-nutritive sweetener like refined sugar. So, and it's very delicious. And it's part of a protocol that uses jaggery and carom seeds, or jaggery and Indian black salt as well, to help deal with parasites. So that's how I became exposed to it, was doing as part of a protocol. And I'll be writing more about some of the different like mini protocols that I did in my big things, and explain kind of that in the future. But that goes beyond the scope of this review of my website. Here's the contact form. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can comment inquiries. If you would like for me to come speak at an event near you, I would love to do that. And you can check it out. If you have any comments, you can put them here. There's also comments section in the blog section as well if you'd like to make any comments on any of the blogs. This just goes to the YouTube station, I Love Iodine, and just, check that out. And if you would like to support me, I do have a Patreon account, which is really great rewards. I think they're really great rewards. But you can check this out, and through PayPal, I'd really appreciate any assistance. But if not, please use this information for your benefit. Just be aware parasites are an issue, and just share the information, and maybe it can help somebody get their health back. And also, I have a link with VitaCost, iHerb, and of course, you can read my affiliate disclosure as well. And it does help by subscribing to my YouTube channel and sharing the videos on your favorite social media site. So that's just something you can do. Anyway, I appreciate it. I hope you find this information helpful. I will be expanding this website over the next couple weeks and the next months for sure. Just wanted to give you an overview of it and let you know that it's out there. All right. I thank you. I hope you have a really great one. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. And here's the Patreon. See if that comes up. Yeah, there we go. Some nice pictures of parasites there. So this is that. And haven't been very successful. I don't have any patrons. Maybe you can be the first one. That would be great. It seems that not very many people are interested right now in intestinal parasites and white edibles, but maybe that'll change. All right, in closing, the Patreon link is here. It's www.patreon.com/I-love-iodine. I do have different reward levels. You can check those out, and they do have a lot of interesting perks. Also, I just want to thank you for taking the time to check out my video and support me by subscribing and clicking the bell if you'd like to be notified. Also, share with others. You can hit the like button, and please do leave a comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace and love. Until the next video.